Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruchakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of the great millstone who taught us this truth. Shalom also to the Akim pushing this word in sincerity and in truth, and to the speckled bird across the four corners of the world, and to the few sisters who are listening. To you I say Shalom. Lord willing, this will be an edifying lesson on the brother Hadashia from the GMS Chicago camp, coming back at you with another lesson. And as you can see, the title of the lesson, I put why your self-esteem is important. And I'm gonna just get right into it, man. Lord willing, is not a long lesson. So the definition for self-esteem, it says self-esteem is how we value and perceive ourselves. It's based on our opinions and beliefs about ourselves, which can feel difficult to change. We might also think of this as self-confidence. Your self-esteem can affect whether you like and value yourself as a person. And really this inspiration came from from a disciples meeting that we had right here in Chicago, because the way that brothers, the way that the elders have set things up right here in GMS Chicago, there's ranks. And one of those ranks is, you're a disciple. When you become a disciple and you become part of the camp, well, now you have responsibilities to handle, man. You have things that you have to handle and do, and you got to make sure that you carry out your duties, man. You see? And the reason why your self-esteem is important is because the way that you value and perceive yourself might affect your productivity, man. It might affect how much production, so to speak, you put in for the Lord, or within your camp, or within your life even. Your self-esteem is very, very important, man. You got to build it up. Because if not, you might have a perception of yourself, and you might think, something I always, some brothers say this, and I always tell brothers, like, man, don't even say that, Ak. Like, stop saying that shit. Because the scripture says that life and death are in the power of the tongue, right? Let me get that. It says life and death are in the power of the tongue. It says Proverbs 18:21, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. So the tongue has, there's power in our words. You got to be very careful the things that you say, especially about yourself, man. You see? Because brothers, sometimes I hear brothers say, man, I ain't shit, bro. Man, I ain't shit, Ak. Bro, stop talking about yourself like that, man. To me, that tells me, Ak, that you got low self-esteem, bro. Yeah, we ain't shit. Of course, we're in the flesh. We're just dust and ashes. And, at the end of the day, the scripture says that a man, at his best estate is altogether vanity. Of course, we understand that. But also, man, we got the truth. The Lord blessed us with the eyesight to understand these scriptures. We're not glorying in our flesh, man. We're boasting in Yahweh Bashmi Shai all the day long, bro. Our confidence doesn't come off this weak-ass fucking flesh, man. Our confidence comes from Yahweh Bashmi Shai, man. Rely on that power. You see? It's time to, you got to build up your confidence in the Lord, man. And that's going to help you build up your self-confidence as well. It's going to help you build up your spiritual self-esteem, man. All right? This truth requires you to, you got to have some self-esteem about yourself, man. If you don't have no self-esteem, and the way that you value and perceive yourself, is like, man, I ain't shit. Eventually, that thought or that demon, right? That low self-esteem demon is going to carry out into every single thing that you do, man. It's going to carry out in the way that you handle your duties, right? You got low self-esteem. A dude that got low self-esteem, it's like, damn, bro, it's just such a weak spirit, man. They feel like they can't do anything. They feel like they can't do this, they can't do that. They thinking about all the things that they can't do, all the things that could go wrong, all the mistakes. All it's like, damn, bro. And that could really affect your productivity, man. Especially, younger brothers, when you look, man, younger brothers, disciples, you first come in, you become a disciple. Look, man, you might have low self-esteem for a minute, but then eventually, man, it gets to the point where it's like, all right, well, do you believe in the Lord? It's time to break out this spirit, man. It's time to, always being in a low spirit and being in a woe is me spirit is not profitable for you, man. It's not profitable at all to just be sitting around all day soaking you're just in your sorrows, thinking about all the sad shit that has happened in your life, man. It's very unprofitable, man. You gotta go build up your self-esteem and confidence in the Lord. All right. That's why it brings me to this next scripture. It says 2 Corinthians 13:5. It says, examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. You got to really examine yourself and really objectively ask yourself, man. Really ask yourself. Really check yourself. Do I believe in the Lord? Do I believe in these scriptures? Am I offended in anything? Do I 100% believe in these scriptures? And if you say that you do, well, when are you going to make the necessary changes and adjustments to break out that low spirit, man? To break out of that low self-esteem. Because I'm going to tell you one thing, man. When I was in the world, I had low self-esteem. I was very shy, very, But when you come into this truth, man, it brings out that boldness in you. It makes you into a man. It makes you realize that, like, man, we're Israelites, man. That's where we come from. Now that you understand the truth, it puts a different spirit in you, man. All right. Now you have more confidence. You're a man now. When we were in the world, we weren't men. But now that we understand this truth, it says, "You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free." So now that you understand this truth and what comes with it, and you have the names of Yahweh Shemiam Shai, right? Man, you're not gonna feel like that anymore, man. You're gonna rejoice evermore. Because you have faith in these words, and these words have the power to quicken you, man. These words, they are spirit and they are life. But if you don't, if you don't examine yourself and see whether you're in the faith, man, if you don't prove your own self, if you don't put any goals in front of you and actually tackle them, you're always going to be in that low spirit, man. You're always going to feel like you ain't shit. You're always going to feel like, well, I just feel like I can't do that. Well, did you even try? Did you even try, brother? Did you even at least put your hand to that deal and actually try to, sometimes you just got to put your hands to the plow and learn from your mistakes, man. Sometimes you just got to not dip your toes in, but jump in the whole pool, If you get what I'm saying. The Lord willing, I'm making sense. Sometimes you got to stop thinking so much and just do it already, man. Make the lesson. Go study the Hebrew. Go look up those books and study the history. Set some goals for yourself, man. Because you look, man, even then, like some things you might have low self-esteem because, you might not be that great at recalling scriptures. Well, you know what? Set some goals for yourself and start studying the scriptures more, start reading more, start writing them down, and then eventually you're going to be able to recall some scriptures. Or maybe you have low self-esteem, because you might not be that great as some other brothers are at the prophecies. Well, get yourself a notebook and a pen and go put in the hard work of studying, man. Go sit and take notes. Take very diligent notes and make sure you're paying attention. Set some goals for yourself and actually go and study the breakdowns, man. Or let's say you might not be that great at history. Go study up some history, man. But it's time to, you really objectively examine yourself and really check yourself whether ye be in the faith, man. Because if you really are in the faith, you're going to make the necessary steps and the necessary adjustments to break out that low self-esteem. You're going to find your balance and you're going to be a man. Because the scripture says, quit yourselves, quit you like men. Let me see if I could. This was Paul. Paul was saying this. It says right here, 1 Corinthians 16:13, watch ye, stand fast in the faith, quit you like men, be strong. He's basically telling you, gird up your loins like a man, be strong, quit you like men, be a man, bro. How can you say that here it is, you're saying you believe in the Lord, you believe in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Well, be a man. Be strong. Show yourself a man. Yahushai showed himself a man. Yahushai laid down his life for us, man. That's the manliest thing anybody could do, man. It's love, man. That's the greatest love that anybody could ever show, that a man laid down his life for his friend. And Yahushai laid down his life for us, man. He was the author and finisher of our faith. He showed us by example how to be like men. Yahushai, it says that he was acquainted with grief. And even though it says that he was acquainted with grief, he wasn't sitting around on the couch all day, soaking around, just thinking about his sorrows and shit like that, man. That's a modern day problem. Go hit some fucking push-ups or something. Go to work. Go do something, man. That's a fucking American problem. Being all fucking depressed and low self-esteem. That's a fucking American problem, man. You go to fucking another place like Mexico or some Middle Eastern country or some shit, right? They don't got no time for depression, man. They got to go feed the cows. They got to go fucking, check on the chickens or some shit, man. But see, right here in America, fucking people, all they got is time. All people do is be on the couch all day, watching TV all day or TikToks all day, just thinking about their problems all the time. Nah, bro, go be proactive, man. Go set some goals for yourself and tackle those goals. Build up your spiritual self-esteem and your self-esteem in general, man. Stand fast in the faith. Quit you like men. Be strong, man. Examine yourself, man. Really see. Really prove yourself. It says, let me read again. It says 2 Corinthians 13:5. Examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves? How that Yahushua HaMashiach is in you, except ye be reprobates? So don't you know yourself, man? Don't you know yourself? You got to prove yourself. That's another thing too, man. To know yourself, you're going to have to examine yourself. To really, put all that bullshit to the side, man. You really got to get over yourself. You start to examine yourself and you start to see like, man, it's me. I'm the problem. It's my way of thinking. It's my mindset. It's the way that I handle things. You start to really see the bullshit that is in you, man. You see how fucking just this flesh is just bullshit, bro. All the fucking excuses that it makes, all the things that your mind comes up with, the excuses. Man, you got to examine yourself and really see whether you're in the faith, man. You got to prove yourself. You got to know yourself, man. You see? You got to really, let me just get it in the, let me get that word for prove in the Greek real quick, because I believe it goes into testing or trying yourself. Let me see. Was it prove? Yep. It says prove is a G1381. It's a dokimatsu, which means to test, examine, prove, scrutinize, to see whether a thing is genuine or not. As metals, it says to recognize as genuine after examination, to approve, deem worthy. You see? So you got to prove yourself. You got to really see if you're worthy of this. You got to count the cost, man. All right? This truth has responsibilities. It requires you to be engaged. It requires you to handle your duties. And you got to prove yourself and count the cost and ask yourself, am I going to do these, am I going to handle these responsibilities? Am I going to do what's required of me? Am I going to do what the Lord told me to do and go to the highways and byways? Am I going to upload these lessons and feed the flock? Am I going to actually study and rightly divide the word of truth? So, am I going to study so that I can rightly divide the word of truth? Am I going to go into these breakdowns? Am I going to take the intellectual responsibility of actually studying history? Am I going to really do those things? You got to ask yourself these things, man. You got to prove yourself to really see whether you're in the faith. If not, you're just going to be going through the motions and you're not really going to know what you're involved in, man. Which really, you're going to do that. If you do that, you're condemning yourself, bro. You got to examine yourself. You can't eat the body of the Lord without, let me see real quick. Because you can't just eat this body of the Lord unworthily, man. The Lord will kill your ass, man. It says right here, 1 Corinthians 11:27, wherefore whosoever shall eat this bread and drink this cup of the Lord unworthily shall be guilty of the body and blood of the Lord. You see, so if you do this unworthily, you don't really believe, you're not proving or examining yourself, you're just you're just kind of coming to this because you see a bunch of, through your fleshly eyes, you just see a bunch of dudes that get together and that's it. You're just seeing this as a get together. But through the spirit, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai has set up, altars all throughout Babylon the Great, man, right here in spiritual Egypt, right? And the Lord is building up the tabernacle of David right before everybody's eyes, man. The Lord is doing a mighty work, and people, some people can't even see it, man. They see this as a trend or as a barbecue hangout or whatever, man. If you do this unworthily, man, you're guilty of the blood and body of the Lord, man. This is not no trend. You gotta really understand what you're a part of, man. If you take this on unworthily, man, you're through, bro. Let me see. Unworthily. It's a G's 37:1. It says in an unworthy manner. Okay, so it's just, so yeah, man. You can't just come in here, it's whatever, and you're just not handling your responsibilities, and you're just kind of going through the motions, and you're not. Because also another thing, man, there would actually be people following the disciples. There would be people who would actually follow the apostles, and Yahushai and Paul and all these men of the Lord. When they were preaching the gospel, some people would follow them because they knew that the Lord would feed them. And the Lord even cursed them out about that, man. That they only came for the bread and fish. So some guys, they only come to this because they see that it's like a bunch of people hanging out. They might have been losers in the world, but when they come into the truth, they might be holding some sort of rank within the camp or whatever. Look, man, you got to do your duties, man. This truth is not no hangout, chicken barbecue, whatever, concert or whatever the fuck you think it is, man. This isn't none of that, bro. We're being gathered by the word of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and we're here to do the work, man. And this truth is going to require you to handle your responsibilities. So, yes, your self-esteem is very important, man. The way that you perceive yourself is very, very important, man. You don't want to be all in a low spirit and then you're bringing that around brothers, man. Just because, look, man, don't be bringing, if you're in a woe is me spirit. I remember a elder brother told me this, man. He said, if you're not using, it was the elder Ariala. He said, if you're not using this, if you're not using that woe is me spirit as motivation to get you out your situation or to get you out that low spirit, don't bring that spirit around, man. Because look, man, if you're just sitting around soaking all day, what are you doing if you really believe in the Lord, then you're gonna really, you know, you're gonna really apply these scriptures and get yourself out of whatever situation that you're in, man. Because you believe in the Lord, you have the necessary tools. You got the names of the Lord, you got the scriptures, the right understanding, you got all the tools that you need to get yourself out of any situation, man. All right. So look, man, your self-esteem is very, very important, man. You don't want the way that you view yourself to affect how you sacrifice unto the Lord. Because you might view yourself in a very, you might perceive yourself in a very fucked up way. And because you perceive yourself that way, now you're offering the Lord a bogus ass sacrifice, man. Nah, bro. You got to give the Lord, it says, give unto the Lord with a good eye his honor. Let me see if I can get that. It says right here, Sirach 35:8. Give the Lord his honor with a good eye, and diminish not the first fruits of thine hands. You see, so you got to give the Lord his honor, man. You got to give what the Lord deserves, his praises, his honor, his glory, man. The Lord woke you up to the truth. He allowed you to understand the record of his son. He gave you the names, right? He gave you the necessary tools that you need to conquer and overcome the world, man. So you better be giving the Lord his honor with a good eye, and not diminishing the first fruits of your hands, which the first fruit of our hands is presenting our bodies as a living sacrifice, man. We got to do the work. This is our reasonable service, man. You see, the Lord has woke us up to this truth. Look, man, the reason why our self-esteem is important is because this truth is bigger than us, man. This truth is not just about you, man. It's about, it says, we're not laboring just for ourselves. It says right here, Sirach 24:34, behold, that I have not labored for myself only, but for all them that seek wisdom. You see, so this truth is bigger than us, man. You got to get over your shit. You got to fucking get over yourself, man. It's not just about you, bro. You got to go feed the flock. The reason why your self-esteem is important is because if you have low self-esteem, you're going to be so fucking worried about what you got going on, your own bullshit, all the fucking, because we all got bullshit that we got to deal with, man. But you got to know how to put that shit aside, how to handle it in the first place. You got to handle your business, man. All right? But you got to be able to put that shit to the side and do the work, man. That's why, having self-esteem having good self-esteem, right, is very profitable because, it's gonna, the way that you perceive yourself is very important, man. If you view yourself like, oh, well, I'm not gonna be able to do that. Oh, well, man, I never do that. So I know I'm not gonna do it. Bro, you're always gonna feel like you can't do this and you can't do that and you can't. Look, bro, this truth is bigger than ourselves, man. You gotta get over your own shit and feed the flock, man. You're not just laboring for yourself only. Of course, we're working out our salvation with fear and trembling, and we're like the scripture says, we're working out our own salvation, right? But at the same time, man, we gotta feed the flock as well. You see? This truth requires you to have all hands on deck and to be engaged, man. All right? But it says right here, Proverbs 13:4, it says, the soul of the sluggard desireth and has nothing, but the soul of the diligent shall be made fat. And, somebody that's a sluggard, a lazy person, they're thinking about all the things they want, their desires, the things that they, they're just sitting around just desiring, man. Just sitting around thinking about all the things that, they're just sitting around imagining shit. And they have nothing because they don't do nothing. But the soul of the diligent, somebody that's industrious and putting in that work day in and day out, setting goals for themselves, tackling those goals, making mistakes, getting back up, keeping, continue fighting, falling again, but getting back up, and then continue being diligent, right? Because some guys, they put their hand to the plow of whatever they're doing, and then they fuck up one time, make one mistake, and then that's it. They just go back into the world. Nah, bro, you got to keep fighting. The soul of the diligent shall be made fat. Somebody that's diligent, dealing with a diligent hand, look, man, they're going to be, it says, he that dealeth with a diligent hand shall bear rule, or something like that. Let me see. Slovakia. It says, let me see. Shall bear. Yup, this is Sirach, or Proverbs 12:24. It says, the hand of the diligent shall bear rule, but the slothful shall be under tribute. You see, so the hand of the diligent, they're going to bear rule, man, because they're putting their work, their 100% into whatever they're doing. And look, man, they're going to have, they're going to preside over whatever situation they're in. And whatever that you do, especially this truth, man, you got to do it with your whole might, man. All right? You can't just be in this truth and then give the Lord the bare minimum. Of course, you're always going to have a low self-esteem because you're doing the bare minimum, bro. You know how great it feels to set goals for yourself and to do it with your whole might and to actually tackle those goals and to actually do what you said you were going to do, to not let your words fall to the ground. You know how good that feels, man? How good it feels to set a goal and to actually do it. It feels good, man. All right? It gives you self-esteem. It builds your self-esteem. The fact that you said, I'm going to read today, and you actually go home and you read that day, it feels good, bro. The fact that you said, okay, this week, I'm going to learn the breakdown for, I don't know, Revelation 13 chapter, let's say, right? And you actually go and learn that breakdown, it feels good, bro. It feels good to set goals for yourself and to actually do it. It feels good to say, you know what, this week I'm going to go to the gym 4 times in the whole week, and you actually do it. It feels good. It feels good to actually keep your word and to have some self-respect, man. You got to have some self-respect, bro. You got to respect yourself and do what you said you were going to do, man. You said you believed in the Lord. You better go out to the highways and byways and profess and stand boldly for the names of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You said you believed, man. You said you believed. You better be feeding the flock. You said you believed. Well, hey, hey, man, take whatever the Lord brought on you. Take it on cheerfully, man. You see? But it says right here, Ecclesiastes 9 and 10, whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave whither thou goest. So whatever you put your hand to, do with your whole might, man. Especially this truth. Especially this truth, man. How can you say that you want to be a joint heir with Yahushua and you want a crown and everlasting life and you want to be, one of the joint heirs with the Lord, but you're just being lazy? You're not giving him his due honor. You're not doing this with your whole might. You think the Lord is gonna put a crown on somebody's head that's being lazy, man? Come on, bro. Come on, man. Realistically, it just wouldn't make sense. You got to really think about that, man. The Lord, he's looking for, the true worshipers that are going to worship him in spirit and in truth. And if you really have the spirit on you, man, you're going to eventually, break out that low self-esteem, and, you're going to remove sorrow far from you, man. Sorrow is unprofitable. Sorrow has killed many. Sorrow is not, man, that being in that woe is me spirit and not doing anything all day, man, it's just gonna fuck you up, man. It's not good for you, man. Remove sorrow far from you, man. All right? Being sad all the time is just fuck. It's not good, man. And it really kills your self-esteem. Just sitting around all day thinking about your problems, and then, before you know it, for a whole month, you haven't read, you haven't lifted no weights, you haven't done no push-ups, you're eating like fucking trash, you're just performing low, and everything that you do is just like, man, bro, get over yourself, bro. It says right here, Sirach 30 and 22, it says, the gladness of the heart is the life of man. Damn, that's heavy, because we just read how self-esteem, right? Self-esteem is how we value and perceive ourselves. It says it's based on our opinions and beliefs about ourselves, which can feel difficult to change. And that's another thing too, man. We're all dealing with the superfluity, the residue of the old man. We all have that old man in us. We know, and it's a constant fight. It's a constant struggle to fight against the old man and to put on the new man. And those feelings or opinions that you have about yourself might be because of that, man. You might feel like it's difficult to put certain things off, man. But guess what, man? You got to keep fighting, and you got to keep praying to the Lord. Are you even praying? Are you making the necessary steps and adjustments and praying to the Lord to help you, man? That's going to help your self-esteem and your confidence, man. All right? Because, look, if you have low self-esteem, right, that means that you really, it's like, what's it called? Whatchamacallit? When you have low self-esteem, it says a lot about you, man. All right? When you got low self-esteem, you tell people so much without saying anything, man, because it's oozing off of you, man. You could always tell when somebody got low confidence, man, because they're afflicting themselves in everything they do. They look depressed. You could see it in their countenance, the way they handle certain things. It's like all with no enthusiasm. It's like they don't even want to do it, man. It's like really sad seeing somebody like that, man. You gotta break out of that, man. It says right here, verse 22, Sirach 30 and 22, the gladness of the heart is the life of man, and the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days. So the gladness of the mind is the life of man. You see? Somebody that got low self-esteem, you're just thinking about your problems all day. Somebody that got low self-esteem is just sitting around soaking, and that's gonna fuck up your heart, man. It says, keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. If you sit around all day, your mind will fuck with you, man. Your mind will play with you. And the mind is, really the playground for Satan, man. The mind is the first thing that Satan is gonna attack. If your mind is compromised, you're through, man. Because having faith right there in your mind, believing that no matter what you got in front of that you could do it, just having that attitude of faith, it allows you to push through whatever obstacles are in front of you, man. But when somebody already lost in their mind, they already lost the war, man. It says, Proverbs 4 and 23, keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Somebody with low self-esteem, their mind is all fucking fucked up, man. They're thinking about all the problems, everything, this, that, and the third. They're just always thinking about all their issues, and they're complaining all the time instead of, actually setting goals and, putting those problems to rest. All right? It's time to make some adjustments, some moves, man, through the spirit. You see? It's time to build up your self-esteem, man. Keep your heart with all diligence. That's where, all the issues come out of, man. All right? But it says, Sirach 30 and 23, love thine own soul and comfort thy heart. Remove sorrow far from thee, for sorrow has killed many, and there's no profit therein. So you also got to love your own soul, man. And that goes back to, how when we started the lesson, I be hearing brothers say that, they ain't shit and so on and so. Stop saying those things about yourself, Ak. Stop talking about yourself like that, man. Stop doing that, Ak. Stop doing that, man. Love thine own soul. Apply that scripture. How about that, Ak? Always saying that you ain't shit and this, that, and the bro. Stop doing that, man. Stop doing that, man. All right? That's just gonna you're just gonna put yourself in a low spirit, bro. And that low spirit is just gonna affect everything that you do for the Lord, man. It is. You could pretend like it won't, but our self-esteem affects our productivity, man. Brothers that are always in a low spirit and so on and so forth, man. It'd be like hard for them to do certain things, man. Because they have certain things that, they still gotta fight. Certain things that they gotta, certain problems that they're still dealing with, man. All right? And that's why it's also important that us as a body, if a brother is in that spirit, man, we could exhort him. It says, the Lord told Simon, he said, when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren. So if we see a brother in that spirit, man, we could strengthen that brother, man, exhort him. All right? Give him some words. Give some words to that Ak. Comfort him, man. All right? But at some point, if a brother does not want to get exhorted, man, and they're always in that spirit, and they're always in a low spirit, and they're always got low self-esteem, and it's just, man, I don't think I'm capable of that. I'm not shit. Bro, what do you believe in the Lord, man? Do you even believe in the Lord, bro? Because if you do, Yahweh Shem Shai can change your situation, man. All you gotta do, like it says right here, Psalms 37:4 says, delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart. Commit thy way unto the Lord, trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. So if you really believe in the Lord, guess what? You're going to delight yourself in the Lord. You're going to keep doing this work. You're going to keep fighting for Yahweh Shem Shai in this truth, no matter what comes your way, right? And he's going to be the one that gives you the desires of your heart, man. If you commit your way unto the Lord and you trust in him, he's going to bring it to pass. You see? So, look, man. It's time to really break out that low spirit, man. Look, we're at the end. It's high time to wake out of sleep. It's really time to grind these talents and really put forth our all to the Lord, man. To really put up these lessons, really feed up the flock, feed the flock, really go out to teach, do what's required, and really sacrifice unto the Lord, man. Really build up that self-esteem so you could, be a high performer for the Lord, man. So you could be meat for the master's use. So you could produce more for the Lord, man. So you could give him the first fruits of your hands, man. So you cannot diminish. So you may not, like we just read in that Sirach, diminish not the first fruits of thine hand. So we could give the Lord his due honor, man. All right? Our self-esteem is important, man. How you view yourself is important. All right? Man, stop talking about yourself in such a negative manner, bro. Like, do you not realize that we're Israelites? The Israelites, our name Israel really means is Yasharallah, prince of the power, man. It means he's a prince of the power. He's a prince of God. You are an Israelite, bro. You are a son of God. The Lord, the Lord made the world for our sakes, man. Everything that you see right here, in this reality was created by Yahweh Shem Yahushai for us, for the Israelites, man. Do you not realize how beautiful we are as a people, man? How beautiful it is that we're Israelites, man. Stop speaking about yourself in such a negative manner, man. Stop talking about yourself like always saying that you ain't shit and just always being in a low spirit and you have low self-esteem. Nah, bro, it's time to change that, bro. It's time to set some goals for yourself and tackle those goals and build up some self-esteem, bro. It's time to change that, man. Show yourselves men. Quit you like men and be strong. All right? So with that, Lord willing, this is an edifying lesson. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruchakudash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of the great millstone taught us this truth. Shalom and Abba.